ultimate reality, the source and sustainer of all things, can't be by definition evil, because evil requires good to exist.
How does God's view of what's best for us solve the problem of objective morality? If we compare what is good and bad according to the nature of an infinitely loving God, then what makes God's loving nature inherently good? If it's God himself who defines his nature as good, then on what basis? Are we not just dealing with the same problem of trying to understand why is it good to be good and never truly having an objective starting place when it comes to morality?
Yeah, good question. I think the reason that we say God is good is because what all philosophers and
theologians mean by God is the ultimate good, whatever that is. Okay? So when we say God, probably what we ought to do is take the word God just out of our vocabulary for a minute, because we all have maybe different conceptions of what we mean by God. Think about it this way. Who is the source and sustainer of all things? Think about that. Who is the source and sustainer of all things? Where did all this originated and how is it being sustained? Who's doing that? Whatever that is, whoever that is, that's what we mean by God. And the buck has to stop somewhere. It stops at the nature of this source and sustainer of all things. So when we say God is good, good is a positive quality. As I mentioned earlier, evil is a negative quality. Evil can't exist without good. Good can exist without evil, but evil can't exist without good. So ultimate reality, the source and sustainer of all things, can't be by definition evil, because evil requires good to exist. So the yin and the yang don't work.
So basically we're just defining ultimate source as what is good?
We're saying that whatever good is, that's what we mean by God. God is the standard of good. Now, how would we know about this God? He can reveal himself in a couple of ways. He can reveal himself through his creation, or he can reveal himself by inspiring people to write more details about him. And I think he's done both. He tells us about himself through his creation. We can see his qualities through his creation and also our conscience. And he gives us more details through written revelation. That's how we know who God is. And the way we can be affirmed that the God who created all things is the same God of the written revelation is that the written revelation lines up with what we know about the natural revelation, and God intervenes in miraculous ways to confirm that the people who are speaking for him are truly speaking for him. So God does three things. He creates, he sustains, and he intervenes through miracles on occasion.
I get what you're saying about how we can learn what, like Yahweh specifically has in store for us and what he thinks is good.
Right.
But I'm failing to understand what makes his opinion objective.
Well, it's not his opinion, it's his nature. See, there has to be a standard that's immovable. That is what we call good, true, right, just. All those attributes have to be somewhere. And even Plato recognized this. He put them in forms independent of God. We're saying those forms, if you want to call them forms, are God's nature.